scale. So if salad for one, you're just going to grab a handful of greens. Salad for two is going to be two. Salad for three is going to be three handfuls. Okay, so that's our basic starting point. Then the next thing we're going to add is sprouts. Now what I have here is broccoli sprouts. I happen to prefer broccoli sprouts. I think broccoli has more nutrients per ounce than anything else. However, you have to decide the sprouts that you like. Now, how much sprouts? Well, if you really like sprouts, you'd use a half a package. Not so much sprouts, maybe a quarter of a package or a third of a package. So quarter, half, quarter to a half, quarter, third, half per serving. So again, one person, two people, I would use the whole thing. Three people, I would still use the whole thing. So there's your sprouts. Now, the next thing we want to add is onions. I happen to like red onions. You can use yellow onions. You can use Vidalia onions. You can use scallions, which are sometimes called spring onions. You can even use leeks. So leeks are like giant spring onions, okay? Now, the next thing you want to use is carrots. Now, baby carrots are better because everything in your salad depends on mouthfeel and texture. That is what makes you want to eat the salad. If you have just big leaves of lettuce and big pieces of carrot and a big thing of tomato, it's not really appetizing for your mouth. It might look good in the bowl, but it's not really appetizing. So I like baby carrots, and my favorite are the tricolor carrots. So we have orange carrots, white carrots, and purple carrots, sometimes called black carrots, which were actually the original carrot, but that's another story. Okay, so you can use baby carrots, or you can use thin sliced black carrots, which if you follow me on Instagram, DRQI, Dr.Love on Instagram, you'll see all the black carrot recipes I posted. Then you can use squash. Now, I happen to like baby squash, the baby zucchini, not the big long zucchinis, but the really baby zucchinis. And I also happen to like baby yellow squash. So you can use that as well. Now, do you have to put all of this in salad? Absolutely not. You can pick and choose. I'm going to give you the essentials in a minute. Then you can use olives. Now, there's Kalamata olives, there's black Greek olives, there's green olives, there's the big green with nothing inside, and you got the little olives with the pimento. Whatever kind of olive you like. You can put, again, just a handful of olives. Then the next thing we want to add is an avocado. Now, this is a medium-sized avocado. There's huge avocados and there's little baby avocados. So for two people, you want to use a medium avocado. If it's one person, you want to use the baby avocado. If it's three people, you still use the medium. If it's four people, you want to use the big avocado. So that's how you scale your salad for the number of people. Then I happen to like crunchy. So we have cashews. Now these are whole cashews. I like cashew pieces because unless you're eating them one at a time, again, you're going to mix the salad. So I prefer cashew pieces, but you can use cashews, you can use walnuts, unless you're allergic to walnuts. You can use almonds, toasted or raw, and then you can use sunflower seeds. So all these things you can put in your salad for crunchy. So you've got the avocado for creamy, and you've got the nut pieces for crunchy. So you have both of those. And then you also have carrots for crunchy. Now, tomatoes. I love tomatoes. These happen to be tomatoes, which are brown tomatoes. These are cherry tomatoes. And then they have grape tomatoes, and then they have heirloom tomatoes. So whatever kind of tomatoes you like, I happen to like grapes and cherries in my salad. If I'm making sandwiches, I'm going to use the heirloom, the bigger tomatoes, but then that's up to you. So how much? I use 6, 7, or 8 cherry tomatoes for 2 people. If it's just one person, I'm going to use 3 or 4 cherry tomatoes. Then I like hot stuff. So these are jalapenos. So for 1 serving, I would use half a jalapeno. For 2 servings, I would use a whole jalapeno. For 3, I would still use a whole jalapeno. But then we also have sweet peppers, which I neglected to get out of the fridge, but everybody knows what sweet peppers look like. And they're red, orange, and yellow. I prefer the smaller ones rather than the big ones because I can slice them and chop them up. And the last thing is the salad scissors. I have the salad scissors behind me. Wow. So these are called salad scissors. You can get them on Amazon for around 20 bucks. And I've had this one 7 years. And the spring broke. I replaced the spring. I went to a store and replaced the spring. Hardware store, replaced the spring. It still works. They're not dull. No, they're not dull yet. I still use them. So now, our chopped salad is got to be chopped. Now, if I was really smart, I would have already chopped the salad. You wouldn't see me actually chopping it, would already be together, and I'd say, here, that's how they usually do on cooking shows. But this is a podcast. So this is your challenge. Today, I'm teaching you how to scale. So you have to make your own salad. So today is Wednesday. So you have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You have 4 days to go to as many stores as you need to get all of the ingredients. So you're going to need seeds. You're going to need squash. You're going to need olives. You're going to need carrots. You're going to need onions, scallions, or leeks. And you're going to need leafy greens. Those are all the ingredients. So we have a question. We don't have a question. Okay. So now the next thing is the dressing. How do you dress the salad? Well, Dr. Love's famous pesto called Spread the Love. Now, the Spread the Love is a nut meat pate. So now what is that? So we can have spinach and walnuts mixed together. We can have basil and pumpkins mixed together. We can have kale and sunflower seeds mixed together. Collard greens and cashews, carrots and almonds, cilantro and Brazil nuts, and arugula and hazelnuts. Now, why did I choose these? Because I experimented for more than a year with different greens and different nuts until I found the right combination of this that tastes stellar. So my experimentation now becomes your benefit. So how do you make the pesto, Dr. Love? Okay, so you use a bunch of greens, however they are prepackaged. If basil comes in a package, use that. If cilantro comes in a package, use that. So however the greens are already packaged. Collard greens, if they come in a small bunch, that's what you're going to use. Kale, small bunch of kale. Now, regular kale, I love dino kale. You're going to have to Google that one, what dino kale is. And then, of course, arugula. You're going to have to get a bunch of arugula, however it's used. Now, how much nuts do you use? You're going to use 6 to 8 ounces of seeds. So if we're using walnuts, it's a handful of walnuts if you hate measuring things. But 6 to 8 ounces of walnuts, 6 to 8 ounces of pumpkin seeds, 6 to 8 ounces of sunflower seeds, 6 to 8 ounces of cashews. Same thing with almond, Brazil nuts, and hazelnuts. So typically it's 1 or 2 handfuls, depending if you have little hands or big hands. So you put the green and the nut together. And then you're going to add 3 ounces of olive oil. What kind of olive oil? Well, obviously the best olive oil is extra virgin olive oil, but I don't trust extra virgin olive oil. So I use Trader Joe's brand premium Kalamata extra virgin olive oil. But you use the oil that you're familiar with, the one that tastes good to you. Now, 3 ounces of oil. You're going to use 5 pieces of fresh garlic. It's called a tooth. A clove of garlic is the bulb of garlic, and the individual pieces of garlic is called teeth. Okay, so this is fresh garlic. I like to smash my own garlic, but you can cheat and buy garlic that's already prepped, and then I can just use my 5 little pieces, and then I throw that in. Now, the next thing I use is I use a dusting of turmeric. So that is 1 level tablespoon of turmeric. And then I use a splash of organic soy sauce. Now, if you don't like soy sauce, then you can use sea salt. So it has to have a little bit of salty flavor. So you are going to have to experiment with whichever tastes good to you. So the salt and the turmeric are totally up to you. So some people like salty, some people don't like salty. So you can use less or more depending upon what you like. Now, the pesto. So you can make it creamy, and this is exactly how we want it. This is perfect pesto. So Eddie, the holistic motivator, made this last night. Oh, you want to taste it?
Show them.
You want to taste it? See how creamy that is? And that's what you want on your salad dressing. This is absolutely perfect. Now, Eddie's done this a couple of times before, so he has a little bit of practice at it. But you're going to have to experiment. You may not make it perfect the first time, but don't be upset. It still tastes good, okay? So the trick is, if you want it creamy, you use more oil. If you want it watery, you use more water. If you want it thicker, you use more nuts. If you want more flavor, you use more green. So you can experiment with what works for you. So most people like the way I make it because I've been making it a long time. But that's basically how you do your love salad. So I have the king salad, I have the queen salad, I have the emperor salad. So it's amazing. So what is your next step? Your next step is to go to the produce market and see what kind of greens you want. Your next move is to decide what is the pesto you want to start with. For everybody, spinach and walnuts, easy as pie. Okay, so I would suggest starting with spinach and walnuts. If you already, if you're a guy and you're over 50 and you want some medicine for your testosterone, then you want to do the basil pumpkin seed, because pumpkin seeds has zinc and copper, which is good for the male energy. If you're a woman, you want to use the carrot almond. Everybody can benefit from the cilantro Brazil nut. I guarantee you will love that. And the arugula hazelnut, everybody loves that. So there's nobody that doesn't like any of these, because the flavor is between the nut and the green. And that's a perfect combination. So you have fat, you have protein, you have carbohydrate from the green. So you have fat, protein, and carbohydrate. You have creamy, and you've got flavor from the turmeric and the soy sauce. And that is how we eat raw for 7 days. So one of my students, Master Reed, he posted on Boost Your Immune System Facebook page 5 different pestos, and he made a lot. And I had to caution him. I said, give that stuff away, because that stuff is so good, you'll have a tendency to overeat. and we don't want that. So I'm sorry I didn't make the salad in advance so you could see what it looks like, but you can go on Instagram and see previous salads I've made. Now, if you have not started your 21-day program, now is the time to start, because this is what you're going to eat when you get finished. That's a really good incentive. So we're going to do 14 days juice, 7 days raw. How to get started with the juice? You're going to go to 21days2wellness.com. That's the numerals 21days2wellness.com. If you've already started, you want to make your own salad and tag at Dr.Love and hashtag Love Salad Challenge. Okay, so we want to see what you made, and we'd love to have a reaction from your roommate or significant other. Animals don't count. Don't say the dog liked it. So, Katniss, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Yes, we got a question.
With the pesto love meat, how long does that last? How long can we keep it in the refrigerator?
It lasts 7 days, and 7 days. And people are like, well, shouldn't it last longer? No, because if you eat it a little bit each day, it's going to be gone.
And how about if we want to have seconds on the salad? Do you recommend us having seconds?
Okay, so the caloric content of salad is so low, you can absolutely have seconds. But if you make it properly and scale it for 1, 2, or 3 people, you won't overeat. So next time, I'm going to teach you guys how to make flax crackers. And you can spread the pesto on the cracker, or you can use the cracker as a scoop for your salad. So I'm going to tell you the 5 white devils: flour, dairy, animal fat, sugar, and salt. Those are the 5 white devils. And the 5 white angels are onions, garlic, scallions, shallots, and leeks. Those are the 5 white angels, and they cut mucus, and we want to make sure that we add that to the salad. So, are there any further questions? No questions from the audience, Katniss?
1 second. Just want to make an announcement to the audience.
So, in order to ask a question, you have to
ask questions while you can.
Ask questions at Ask Dr. Love to 81010. You have to text at Ask Dr. Love to 81010, and then you'll get a reply, and then you can put your comment or your question in the reply. I believe I said that in the beginning. Forgive me if I didn't, but I do remember saying at Ask Dr. Love to 81010. You can still do it now. You can comment right here in the comment section of the podcast, or you can email me. You can direct message me, and then I will answer your questions in the next podcast. So one of the questions that came up was about the spleen, and what was the function of the spleen, and how can you tell if the spleen is working properly? So the spleen, from the Chinese medicine perspective, is not only the digestive system, but also the immune system. So what you eat become the building blocks of the white blood cells. So the spleen directs the white blood cells from the bone marrow up to the thymus gland, weapons and armor, and then they go on a hunting hunt and destroy mission in the lymphatic system, and that's what we call humoral immunity. And then we're going to have a webinar on how to shield your immune system this Friday. So if we have any questions, this is the opportunity. This is the time to ask the questions.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Why is animal fat the devil?
Okay. So a devil is anything that destroys your sense of well-being. Now, when we were a rural agrarian society and we worked on the farm and we did hard labor and we had to chop trees and we had to dig ditches and we had to do a lot of manual labor, eating meat was perfectly okay. And the reason why it was okay is because people slaughtered their own animals. But then as we transitioned from a rural agrarian society, moving to the big cities, post-World War I, pre-World War II, they did the big cattle roundups, and they rounded cattle up to St. Louis, Missouri, and they put them on cattle cars on the railroad, and then they would send the cattle to the various cities, and then those cities would take the cattle off, have a slaughterhouse in that city, and then the butchers would come to the cattle car, to the slaughterhouse, and buy the meat right then and there. They had not invented the refrigerated car. They hadn't, the train car, they had not invented that yet. So I want to stop for a commercial.
All right.
To make your salad.
I want to see these salads.
And tag Dr.Love and hashtag to Love Salad Challenge. Make your salad over the weekend. Take a photo. Tag at Dr.Love and hashtag Love Salad Challenge, and then it'll get posted, and then we can see it. Okay. We got another question.
Are salads the only raw food we can eat as a complete meal?
Okay, that's an excellent question. Are salads the only food we can eat as a complete meal?
Only raw food.
The only raw food you can eat as a complete meal. So I'm so glad you asked me that question. So first of all, we have to define what is raw. And secondly, we have to define what is a meal. Now, raw foods, well, let me back up a half a step. A vegetable is anything that grows. So fruits are technically vegetables, but fruits have seeds. Vegetables technically don't have seeds, but anything that grows is a vegetable. So what is a salad? A salad is what I have just described. Now, some people put strawberries in their salad. Some people put passion fruit in their salad. Some people put pears in their salad. Okay, so because well, tomato is technically a fruit because it has a seed. Cucumbers technically a fruit because it is a seed. Zucchini technically a fruit because it has a seed. So can we mix fruits and greens together? Yes, we can. So what makes a complete meal? A complete meal is protein, carbohydrate, and fat. It is the pesto that makes it a complete meal. It's not the salad, it's the pesto. So when we take the pesto with the salad, that's what makes it a complete meal. Now, is salad the only raw food we can consume? Absolutely not. You can make fruit salad. Now, what would be in your fruit salad? Would be cherries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and mulberries. Those are perfect fruits. Then you can add watermelon. You can add watermelon, honeydew melon, musk melon. There's all kinds of melons that you can use as a fruit salad. Then you can make soup. Well, isn't soup cooked? No, it doesn't have to be cooked. So you can take your high-speed blender, you can put hot water in your high-speed blender, and then you can add your vegetables, carrots, potatoes, onions, whatever, put that in, add your seasoning, and put it on high speed, and then you have a soup. It's not cooked, it's still raw. Okay? So anything that's 160 degrees is considered cooked. This hot water in a high-speed blender with fruits and vegetables is going to be closer to 110, 105. So technically, that soup that we make in the high-speed blender is not cooked, and that would be considered also raw.
Also, Dr. Love, question.
Question.
How about the sprouts that you sow when you
Can you make sprouts? I'm so glad you asked me that question. So you can use mung beans. There's all kinds of beans. We made chickpea sprouts the other day. 24 hours. 24 hours. Now, we just soaked them in a pot of water. We rinsed them 3 times a day. 24 hours later, the little root tails came out. We rinsed them again and put them in the fridge, and they still continued to grow in the fridge, in the dark. So we had mung bean sprouts, we had chickpea sprouts. There's all kinds of beans. I bought 4 kinds of beans the other day. We haven't had a chance to sprout them yet, but we got all kinds of wonderful sprouts that you can grow yourself very inexpensively. So I didn't finish answering the question about the meat, but the bottom line is, if you kill something, rigor mortis sets in, which means the meat becomes very, very stiff. When you buy meat, it's no longer stiff. And then they say it's fresh meat. Well, that meat was killed several months ago. So the nutrition that would be in that meat, if you killed it and ate it on the spot, is very different than if you killed it and put it on a hook and aged it for 3 months to a year. Because aged beef, what makes beef delicious is the fat. And the fat and the toxins bind together, and that's why meat is the devil. Next
Do we
question.
take in the negative energy they feel as the livestock to go through the process of being slaughtered?
So the question is, do we take in the negative energy they feel during the process of being slaughtered? And the answer is absolutely yes. So my grandmother raised chickens. She selected the chicken that she was going to kill on Monday. She would isolate that chicken. She would give that chicken special food. The day before, she would put a hood over the chicken's head to disorient the chicken. Sunday morning, she would grab the chicken, snap its neck, hot water, pluck the feathers, and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we were eating chicken. So that was a process she used to prevent the toxic waste matter of being slaughtered being in the chicken. Now, I'm sure you've all seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacres and all the horror films with chainsaws. That comes from working in a slaughterhouse. The guys who wrote all those movies worked in a cattle slaughterhouse where they used chainsaws to cut the animal heads off while they are still alive. So there's more accidents, work-related accidents in slaughterhouses than any other industry in America, which is why insurance rates are so high, and you don't want to eat that. Next question.
So many people have insulin resistance and are diabetic. How do you feel about certified grass-fed, grass-finished beef and free-range poultry?
Okay, let's take grass-fed beef. What they have discovered is that if they feed hay to a cow 30 days before it's slaughtered, it somehow cleans it out. Now, certified grass-fed, fine. Humanely slaughtered, fine. Flash frozen and shipped directly to your house, fine. That's your choice. I don't recommend it, but I'm not against it if that's your choice. But how do you know it's humanely slaughtered? How do you know it's flash frozen? You don't. Unless they post pictures, which I've been to some food markets where they actually show pictures. So that being the case, that's your choice. 3 ounces of meat 3 times a week, perfectly okay. More than 3 ounces, not okay. Okay, so thank you all for watching Ask Dr. Love Uncooking class, Cooking with Dr. Love. And your comments will spur me to do more of these podcasts in the kitchen. And we also have a class called Food Therapy Class. And that's an 8-week class. And if you are so inspired, make a comment, I want to take that class, and we'll add you to the list. When that class comes up, you'll be a special invite. So thank you all for watching. Food is love, and the way I express my love to you is with food. So in order to be well, you got to eat well. Your health is in your hands. Until tomorrow, I'm Dr. Love for the Blue Dragon Qigong Academy.